My name is Nima, and I play guitar in the Russian Sleep Experiment.
I'm Nick, I play guitar.
I'm Ethan Petrikis and I do the vocals.
I'm Alex Lazo and I play bass.
Hello, my name is Ben Winthizer and I play drums in the Russian Sleep Experiment.
We are a metal band from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
There was a period of time where I was really into these internet horror stories called creepypastas, and I came across this one titled The Russian Sleep Experiment. And just the way it was written just made it totally stick to me, and eventually I was like, this would be a really badass name for a band.
We all knew each other from various music projects.
And we all decided the music that we wanted to play fit together.
So we decided that we should come together and do a serious one and put all of our effort into it, this time backed with a lot more experience and a lot more drive.
There's no really particular genre we could consider ourselves. You know, there's progressive, there's just metalcore, there's groove metal.
I really want to say progressive, melodic, core.
The one thing that we just kind of like to call ourselves is just smackcore. That term was kind of coined by our friend Ali Shana. We just showed him one of our new songs one day and he was just like, bro, that smacked.
And you know what, that stuck, that totally stuck. Now we think of ourselves as smackcore, because we try to, as he says, smack, get that riff to just hit you.
The album's gonna be called End Reborn. It's gonna be coming out this July with a set release show already, July 23rd.
So what the concept is of the album is basically
deconstruction, reconstruction within yourself.
Having an experience of failure.
You're just pulled lower than low.
Being able to overcome your failures and creating a better version of yourself out of them. The way the tracks are in the album is actually really cool. I decided, because I've worked with a lot of classical music before, that I wanted to kind of emulate how symphonies have their movements in classical pieces, where it starts slow and they peak at a point and resolve at the end. The motion of the whole album is actually the main message, with all the crazy twists and turns in the album, from the musicality and the lyrics. It's backed by the message that you can recover from anything, even those experiences that you don't think you can.
Ben's drums, Ben is a guy.
He's just a kid who can make sick beats. I mean, essentially, we can just write riffs and he automatically just knows what's gonna go with that.
He really brings a strong presence and drive to the music.
I like to match a lot of what the guitar is playing. I like to know when I should be strong and be very noticeable, but I also know when to draw back and let the leads or Ethan's vocals pop.
It all just flows together and keeps it alive.
This band gives me a lot to strive for. It gives me motivation to play bass and to write music.
What's awesome about Lazo is that I can show him a riff and he'll learn it that second, just bam, he knows the whole thing by just watching it once.
I've been playing bass about 4 years. My main influences are thrash metal, jazz, progressive metal. The music that we write kind of has little aspects of all the genres that I play, so it was really easy for me to write bass lines for it.
That backup is not just following the guitars, he's making his own riffs.
Me and Ben, we follow each other, and whenever he's doing a kick drum or whenever he's doing a certain beat, I'm right on top of it.
He'll just jump on in with a bass riff, which is really cool, and just jump on command.
Yeah, so Nima's the main riff writer for the band.
So Nima will show us these riffs, we'll respond to them, whether we like them or not. If we don't like them, we'll try to make them better. And then we eventually just keep building and building, what's gonna sound better, what's gonna make this hit a lot harder.
Nima and I honestly feel we're like a machine. We just know how to crank out riffs with each other. We just know how to build off of each other and just structure songs well.
Nima will take whatever riffs that they're working on and he'll pluck them apart and then put things back together and then practice it to make the exact perfect sound. So Nick and Nima, both as guitarists, collaborate together and make something beautiful.
You can just give him this raw, just cool sounding riff, and he just knows the little things in it to tweak and to just make it even better than what you thought it was before.
I usually have an image of a song before we actually write it. We can take a bunch of riffs and, or I'll create riffs to fortify that image that I have of the song. That's where a lot of my melodies come from, is all the classical work I've done in the past with my guitar work.
In my previous band, I was a vocalist. I had played guitar before, but not as in-depth as it would require to be in this band. It was just working my fingers to the bone, just trying to learn riffs, writing my own riffs, and getting more accustomed to this style of what we want to write.
I would tell him what he's doing wrong, and he would instantaneously start learning how to do better, and it shows significant increase in his skill, because now sometimes he writes even more complicated riffs than I do. But it's very awesome to see how much improvement he has had. Riffs that we write now, that he writes, he wouldn't even have been able to fathom playing when he started in August. You'll know when Nick wrote a riff is when it's that catchy, repeated sound in the, whether it be a melody or a riff.
He's really good at making those riffs that just get stuck in your head. They make you want to two-step in the pit, and they makes you want to groove.
That's what you're gonna hear, just a really crazy heavy part or just a really cool catchy riff. Those are the kinds of things that I enjoy writing and enjoy putting in our music.
I had barely any musical background with being in a band besides way back in the day. First time recording, my voice was just completely different. I needed to practice, figure out what sounded good for me and the music.
So there's been a lot of musical growth with him, that's for sure.
I love the way he screams. It's kind of voicey, but it's also pretty aggressive, and I like how I can understand what he's saying.
Ethan's got incredible lows, really good highs.
He's got just such a unique voice that I really can't compare it to anyone else.
Throughout time, I developed a really good sense of my lows. I'm really proud of those now, and I still think they can get better. Along with my highs are pretty unique. I like the idea that my sound is sort of different than the generic sound you would hear.
The way he writes his lyrics kind of fit with the concept of our album.
We described his lyrical style as a slit throat, and all the blood coming from it is everything wrong with the world, and it's flown into a recycling bin.
Basically write my thoughts down. I write everything that comes to mind, particularly at night.
He tries to bring the hidden truths that not many people notice in our daily lives, and I'm blown away by the lyrics he writes. They're definitely something that I like to think about that separates our band from other bands.
I try to make it the best I can so it means something.
The best thing about Ethan is that whenever we play a show, whenever we're playing a concert, he's going crazy. He is the best front man that I could ask for. He knows how to rile up the crowd, and he has a great time up front.
His antics and his presence on stage live is just awesome to see. He's got so much energy and just really brings a good visual to the show. This is an album that I'm proud to say we've worked our fingers to the bone. We've put our heart and soul into creating.
Put a lot of work and a lot of time into this. We put our heart and soul into it. We try to make it as best as we possibly can.
These guys are talented, man. People in this band are talented. I really think that this is going to be something different. I'm really happy, and I mean, as long as I can go on the stage and pour my damn heart out, that's all I really want. I think it's just going to be fun no matter what the outcome is.
With all of this being said, we plan to make this album the best that we can put out at this point as musicians. That being with all of the things that we've been able to put together with our musical diversity and all of our experiences.
We have a specific element in our music that we hope people will really enjoy.
And this is something that I don't know if Milwaukee or this scene is ready for. I really hope it's going to make a really great mark on music.
As we are young high schoolers still, we intend success, and we intend to create a name for ourselves. And End Reborn is just the beginning of all the things that we're going to try to do as a band together.